You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the Patriots and more specifically Bill Belichick because, of course, maybe the biggest story going into this offseason will be the fate or the next step for Bill Belichick. Of course, I do consider Bill to be the greatest head football coach of all time. Certainly, I think maybe the greatest defensive head coach. I'm not even sure there's an argument there. Although there are rumors right now that Gerard Mayo is the one leading that defense and that Bill's not been that involved the last several weeks, which is kind of interesting because that defense has been playing lights out. But that's neither here nor there. You know, there have been a lot of different teams floated out there regarding Bill Belichick. Where's he going? Chargers keep coming up because it feels like that's a ready-made team. He's very much got a priority. He wants to pass Don Shula for the most wins ever. And then, of course, the Commanders has been floated around quite a bit. But one team that does get thrown out every few weeks is the Dallas Cowboys. And a lot of people have poo-pooed that. I tend to believe that probably won't happen. Although I think there's some lines to draw between Bill and Parcells, having both spent some time with the Cowboys, and the fact that Bill obviously comes directly off that Parcells tree. Obviously, I'm sure they've had several conversations about the boys, and more specifically about Jerry Jones, because I think a lot of people believe Jerry Jones would be the reason that Bill wouldn't go. All right, I mean, most notably, Jerry is the GM, him and Steven, and one believes, is Bill willing to sort of give over personnel control and let Jerry Jones and Steven Jones keep that? Now, a lot of people for a long time bashed the Cowboys in their drafting, but if you go back and look, the Cowboys have drafted pretty good, actually, for the past several years, and they're a really damn good team. They are a really good team. They're a team that feels like they're ready to win now. They're 10-4, but they got problems on the road. They just got boat raced by the Buffalo Bills. The Cowboys weren't even involved in that game. And so I got to thinking, well, would Jerry really think about doing this? And everybody knows Jerry is desperate to get back to a Super Bowl, back to win a Super Bowl before he dies. I mean, he's on a ticker now, all right? And he's counting down, and everybody knows he desperately wants to win another one before he checks out. And it made me wonder, well, would that be enough for Jerry Jones to put some ego aside? Lord knows, Bill Belichick hooking up with Micah Parsons. That could be Lawrence Taylor-like. It really could. And, you know, Jerry has moved aside before. And, guys, I like Mike McCarthy, but he's no Bill Belichick. He's not. Dak Prescott seems like exactly the kind of quarterback Bill Belichick would love to have on his team. And a very mature quarterback. They got offensive weapons everywhere. They got defensive pieces there. And it does make for an interesting discussion. So, Scott Zolak, of course, he's involved with New England radio up there. And he talked about it. The latest wild rumor, this is SI, comes from former Patriots quarterback turned radio host Scott Zolak, who suggests Belichick could go from one of the NFL's most winningest franchises to another in the Dallas Cowboys. Quote, "To me, it's starting to shape up like Dallas. You see the Dallas swoon starting to begin. And I know McCarthy has won a lot of games. I think he's a good coach. He's won a Super Bowl. But I'm going to tell you, if they get blown out by the Niners by 30 in the playoffs, I think Mike McCarthy should probably be concerned. I do. And if Bill already has eyes for the Cowboys, and Jerry knows that, or, they may have already talked for all we know. Then you never know. It's all going to depend on Jerry's ego. The former Patriot said on 98.5 The Sports Hub, Zolak and Bertrand, quote, "They got their bleep kicked by Buffalo 2 days ago. Buffalo did what they wanted with them. You line up and you look at them, they got a big offensive line, a good running back, a marquee quarterback, you got good receivers, you got good cover guys. You got Lawrence Taylor Jr. and number 11, Micah Parsons. You've got a big defensive line and good safeties. The team is ready to win. I mean, there's no doubt about it." Zolak went as far as to say it would be, quote, "a turnkey operation." Yeah, as long as Bill doesn't come in there and get rid of all your good players. Operation for Bill Belichick, as the Cowboys already boasted a talented roster and have for many years. However, for some reason, they haven't been able to get over the proverbial hump since their last Super Bowl in 1995. 1995. That seems insane for the Cowboys. Yet, even though the Cowboys haven't had as much as sniffed the NFC Championship since 95, is Bill Belichick going to Dallas a possibility? Judging by a recent comment from Cowboys Jerry Jones, there doesn't look to be any hint of unsatisfaction with the work current coach Mike McCarthy, who clinched his third appearance in the playoffs in 4 seasons in Dallas. I got to be honest with you, both myself and John, who's a massive Cowboys fan, I was banging the table. I'm not a Cowboys fan, but both myself and John were both banging the table that Jerry should have moved on from Mike and hired Sean Payton. Sean Payton has always wanted to coach the Cowboys, and there was a deal in place at one time between the Saints and the Cowboys for the Saints to trade Sean Payton to the Cowboys. Very interesting story from Mike Florio on that. If you ever get a chance to look it up, it's fascinating. Quote, "He's coached 3 playoff teams in a row," Jones said of McCarthy. "He's done an outstanding job. This makes that, quote, outstanding job by McCarthy a major roadblock for Zolak's prediction of Belichick leaving Foxborough for Dallas. Yet, things could change if the Cowboys suffer another disappointing early postseason exit. In the meantime, it's safe to assume Belichick will likely end up elsewhere if he decides to coach when his time with the Patriots ends." Well, I don't know about that. And we've got this, a bidding war. And that's what Robert Kraft is hoping to set up. Now, it should be very much noted here, as we're talking about the boys and Belichick, Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones have a good relationship. They have a good relationship. So that they're seen as the 2 flagship owners in all of the NFL. Okay? So that is something to consider in all of this. And if the Cowboys and Jerry Jones could stick it to the Commanders, the Redskins, on top of everything else, that's kind of interesting too. Yes, the Patriots, Robert Kraft apparently wants to have his cake and eat it too when it comes to Coach Bill Belichick. Kraft is moving towards moving on, but apparently he's hoping to get someone to trade for the coach who remains under contract through 2024. He's potentially trying to corner the market in offers for the coach. Via Sports Business Journal, Tom Kernan of NBC Sports Boston said Tuesday that Kraft might try to, quote, make a bidding war emerge for Belichick if the Patriots part ways with the coach who was hired in 2000 and has delivered 6 Super Bowls. As Kernan notes, it would take multiple weeks for it all to unfold, and he's right. If it doesn't start until the regular season ends, other teams would have to go through the motions of a search before picking up the phone and calling the Patriots with the intent of striking compensation deal that would allow someone to hire Belichick. Along the way, the Patriots' search for a new coach would be delayed. Quote, "That's 3 weeks less than the new coach has prepared to prepare for the team, 3 weeks less than the personnel department with a clearly defined vision for 2024. Thus, Kernan rightly concludes that foot dragging for compensation is not the way to go. He's right. That's why, if a trade is going to happen, it's more than likely going to be now, quietly and discreetly. Absolutely. All this is going on right now, folks. Behind the scenes. Agents are talking to agents. Owners are talking to owners. And that's how, look, there's nothing preventing Robert Kraft and Jerry Jones or Josh Harris. I would say Dean Spanos, but and the Chargers should hire Belichick, possibly. Maybe they should. But I don't see Dean Spanos paying for Belichick. That's the fly in the ointment with the Chargers. Always will be. All that said, Belichick has no reason to go along with any of it. He could have left as a free agent after the 2022 season. He didn't. His position with 1 year under contract could be simple. Keep me or fire me. So I know Florio is taking the stance that he might put Bill in a position to fire him or put Robert in a position to fire Bill. That could happen. It could. If Bill wants to stay with the Patriots and Kraft doesn't want him there, he will have to fire him. You know, Bill doesn't have to. I mean, I'm not coach. You know, he could be like, I'm not coaching for the Commanders. I'm on to Dallas. I mean, I don't know. You get the point. Belichick's got a lot of power, all right? He does, you know? And for the longest time, I sort of just ignored the Dallas thing. We haven't talked about it at all on here. But at 81 years old, if Jerry Jones is like, you know what, I can play nice like I did with Parcells for 3 years. I don't think Belichick's going to coach more than 3-4 years, tops maybe. And then he's going to be old and he's going to need to retire. If Jerry thinks he can play nice and thinks he gets a Super Bowl out of it, maybe. I mean, maybe. And Jerry's pockets are deep as hell. I mean, that's all there is to it. I find this interesting. The Cowboys thing does make some sense. Mike McCarthy, Bill Belichick. I don't even have to think about that. No question. Belichick. You know? Man, you want to talk about me always saying I'm rooting for something to be interesting, something intriguing? Belichick and Jerry Jones together? Oh, shit. I mean, that's intriguing. It is. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.